Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Dre.
I'm Jay.
This is the smoking table. Fuck, my voice sounds horrible.
So I'll do most of the talking.
There you
We
go.
got a pretty good show today. It's our draft party, so we have the other members of the smoking table here with us.
We got Yoshi,
What's up?
Derek the Jedi,
What's up, dude?
and Silent J.
Doesn't say shit.
Except for that, obviously.
So we're going to talk about our draft party. We're also going to talk about the scandal that I predicted going on with deflategate. And we're also going to talk about, from last week, the movie idea that we put together with the casting call collaborations for songs. So Dre put that movie together, and we'll also be getting into that.
The ultimate mashup of movies and music and amazingness. All right, so here we go into weed news.
Not weed news yet,
Oh, yeah.
because we got to explain something to you guys. All right, so for all the smoking table faithful, to show our appreciation for you guys hanging in there with us, even though, especially in the first couple of episodes, we really sucked.
Yeah, we did.
But we did something fun with it, though. We're going to turn it into a smoking game. So you can gather up all your friends, listen to your favorite episode, and start a session. And the session has rules now. For every time that you hear me say like, whoever turn it is in the session has to hold it for 10 seconds. 20 seconds for if I accuse Dre of being a closet fan of somebody. And the ultimate 30 seconds for every time that...
Oh, that I hate somebody, like an actor or a musician or anything, because I hate a lot of people, and I express it a lot in this show. So I apologize to anybody in advance.
And for those who think that that's easy, holding it for 30 seconds, go ahead and try it. Many have tried, some have succeeded. I'm pretty sure a lot have failed. But now, getting into weed news, I get to play Judas this week because I get to tell you how marijuana is a gateway drug.
Bum, bum, bum.
Kinda. I mean, not really, but not in the way that opponents want you to think. I mean, while it's common knowledge that at this point that marijuana is safer than fellow controlled substance list mates, which is why it probably has such popularity, it's also known that marijuana is a friend who hangs out long after the party's gone. And with this issue, it's a long price to pay for some people to hang out with Mary Jane. I mean, if you're a responsible person and you get up and you go to work every day, I mean, for a good hour high, you're going to have to worry for the next 30 days of whether or not you're going to get drug tested in some way, shape, or form.
And that sucks.
But that's what illegality is all about, though. All right, so how is marijuana a gateway drug? Let me go ahead and explain that to you. First, I want to say that marijuana gateway properties are based on the aforementioned length of time in your system. Because it's 30 days to 45 days, some people say it's lower than that. Some people have gotten it lower than that. It's still nowhere in the realm of other drugs. I mean, any other drug is in and out of your system in a long weekend, for the most part. I mean, methamphetamines take longer, and I think alcohol takes 3 to 5 days, depending on how much you drink.
Nothing takes more than a week, though.
Exactly.
Other than cannabis.
But what people fail to tell you when they feed you this line that marijuana is a gateway drug is that marijuana is a gateway drug solely on the basis that it's illegal. Because it's illegal and because of how long it stays in your system, any responsible adult is going to try to find a way to minimize that risk.
And do cocaine.
Some people take the legal route and do alcohol. Some people do spice, which let's stop letting people call this this synthetic marijuana. That is a term that's pushed by opponents to try to make them one and the same because they don't want it legal.
We need a push to stop people from smoking spice in general. It's like the worst thing ever.
Yes, but their propagation on it is the new reefer madness. Like you can't link spice to marijuana. The fact that that they even try and that they try to say, look at what spice is doing to people. This is what will happen if marijuana is legal, is completely asinine.
It's legitimately says it's potpourri on the packaging. It says potpourri, not for smoking.
Yeah, and like Dre said, we would be naive to actually sit here and completely deny that some people don't use cocaine or heroin or opiates, especially prescription pain pills, especially in Florida, as a way of trying to supplement not being able to smoke weed because they can't afford to get caught.
So if you're like a businessman and you're not allowed to have drugs in your system, so on a Friday night you start doing blow, and by Sunday you just stop. But in those 2 days you've probably done more things than a stoner would have done in a month. That's horrible. Cocaine is way worse than fucking marijuana, but it's easier to get out of your system.
But like I said, that's how they get you, because they push it that marijuana is a gateway drug without telling you that the reason why it even has gateway properties is because it's illegal. And you have to go no further to find proof of that than the states and countries that have already legalized or decriminalized marijuana. In most of those states, they have seen a spike in, quote, marijuana users, which can be attributed to people finally coming out of the closet because it's legal, or people coming back to it from other drugs, because what they do also see is a decrease in the use of other drugs when marijuana is legal.
So
I wrote a paper on it once, dude.
you did?
I did.
That's awesome.
For high school.
For high school?
Yeah, do it.
I won a DARE program when I was in 8th grade, and I was smoking weed, and my paper was about not smoking weed. And I won the DARE program. Like, the sheriff gave me a certificate saying that I'm glad you're not on drugs and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I wrote this while I was stoned. But I didn't tell him that. But it happened.
That's some gangster crap.
There are also instances worldwide.
I'm easy.
There are also instances worldwide where marijuana is actually used to treat and rehabilitate users of other drugs.
I've heard of that before.
So what you have to understand that is when they give you the story, sometimes they don't give you the whole story. Feel free to research it for yourself or come to the smoking table and I will give it to you. Because, there was another report that recently came out that was all over the news about how, for the first time ever, marijuana use was higher than tobacco use in teens.
Oh my God, no.
What they failed to tell you is that the teen rate usage of cigarette smoking is like 5.3%.
It's gone down a lot lately.
And that is the lowest it has been ever.
I saw a commercial about that.
Cigarettes are bad.
Yeah.
The teen rate for cannabis use right now is at 5.8. That is 0.8 percentage points. But yet, everybody will write in the paper about how all the kids have stopped smoking cigarettes, but now weed's a problem.
It's not, though.
So don't let them fool you. Keep the wool from over your eyes. And if all else fails,
Raid your
welcome
kid's
to the
bedroom.
smoking table.
Huh?
Don't raid your child's bedroom.
Raid your child.
That is messed up.
Do it.
No.
Do it! Oh, life.
That's all I got.
So,
Moving on to sports.
thank you. I couldn't introduce it loud enough. We're doing deflategate again because Tom Brady is probably our favorite fan. We're his biggest fans because we have talked about him for now 4 episodes, which outdoes
Tom Cruise, yeah, that tops our record right there.
Yeah, it does. And I love Tom Cruise, but I'm sorry, Tom Brady has beat you. Well, wait a minute. We're talking about Tom Brady, but we also just mentioned Tom Cruise. So would that tie them at 4?
and I talked about
Probably.
All right, so moving on from that, the deflategate
Eastwood.
case ended. We've never talked about Clint Eastwood.
I did just now.
Deflategate finally came to an end. The funny part was it ended the day after we did the last week's episode where we were saying that it was never going to end, but it actually ended. And
the day after, I predicted what was going to happen in the ending of it.
exactly. We were sitting outside and he was like, oh, no, it was a cover-up. Roger Goodell is really good friends with Tom Brady and Robert Kraft. The next day, ESPN releases an article saying every fucking thing that Jay had said. All right, so this following video is from CBS News about Tom Brady winning the ruling against his suspension given to him by Roger Goodell in the NFL.
So it's Tom Brady 1, Roger Goodell 0 at halftime. Today, a federal judge lifted the 4-game suspension that the NFL commissioner gave Brady for allegedly using underinflated footballs in a championship game. The judge said the NFL should have informed Brady in advance that he was subject to such a penalty. Goodell appealed. Anna Werner is in Boston.
The decision puts Tom Brady back out on the field for opening day next week and sets the league back on its heels. U.S. District Judge Richard Berman wrote that Brady was not given notice that, quote, general awareness of a scheme to deflate footballs would warrant a 4-game suspension. And the judge said decisions to deny Brady access to underlying notes and documents from the Wells report, along with the chance to examine a witness, were fundamentally unfair. Berman said Commissioner Roger Goodell dispensed his own brand of industrial justice. Dan Shaughnessy writes for the Boston Globe.
I think I'm surprised at the totality of the verdict. It's such a smackdown of Roger Goodell in the NFL. There's nothing ambiguous about the verdict at all.
Brady insisted all along that he had nothing to do with deflating footballs below league standards at last season's AFC Championship game. In handing out his original 4-game suspension, Goodell said Brady not only participated in the scheme, but hampered the investigation by destroying his cell phone. Today's ruling makes no judgments on Brady's actions, just that the star quarterback was treated unfairly through much of the process. Scott Zolak is a radio host and former Patriots quarterback.
It's going to be tough for the commissioner to move forward from this. It really is. Because now it's, how do you trust any judgment, any suspension, any fine that's handed down?
So do you see the Brady case as sort of the death knell for Commissioner Roger Goodell?
I think there's always that one point where you say, boy, that's the point where everything started to end for it. And I think, yes, that will be it.
Well, the league is appealing this decision, of course. Meanwhile, the regular season begins 1 week from today right here in New England. And one person who will not be here for that game, Commissioner Roger Goodell. Scott, he said he'll be watching it on TV.
Anna Werner at Gillette Stadium. Anna, thanks.
So that's crazy that it got overturned like that. I mean, doesn't even make sense. The fact that it got overturned because Brady didn't know that he would get in trouble for doing that is crazy. That's like me saying if I put a banana peel on a sidewalk in a place where no one ever walks, but 1 week later someone walks and slips on the banana peel, like, am I in trouble or no? Because I didn't know I could be in trouble for putting a banana peel there, letting someone slip, break their neck, and die. That's very far-fetched what I said, but I don't care. All right, so that was our sports, and here we go. All right, so fantasy football.
Like we said before, we had our draft tonight. We had the whole crew over, and my team personally looked sick. But everybody, I mean, we all got our teams together, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good season.
My team looks as sick as you wanted it to be.
My God.
My team.
Yeah, Yoshi stole a lot of my
I
players.
stole all your players.
You know who I wanted that I didn't get? The rugby player. I
The
didn't
person
get him.
who was on my team,
You got him?
Jared Haynes.
See, I thought about it for a while, but I'm like, do I really? I don't know. And I didn't get him.
I drafted him late too. I'm not gonna start him though, because Carlos Hyde's on the team too. I don't even know if he's gonna be a starter. I want to get at least 2 games out of seeing what he can do.
Yeah,
Before I put him in.
I think he's pretty
he's
awesome.
beastly though.
He looks he's dope. And he goes from rugby to this. It's amazing.
Person that I really wanted was Jared Allen, but Yoshi got him.
I had to take everything. You took Jimmy Graham, so I had to take everything.
You got Ndamukong Suh?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Had to take
I got
everything.
J.J. Watt. Never mind.
I think I had a chance to get him.
I got Earl Thomas and Von Miller.
You got a pretty beast defense. Who did you get?
Luke Kuechly,
Yeah, he stole
Richard
Kuechly.
Sherman, and Robert Quinn.
I don't
And
care.
I got Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner's dope. Robert Quinn's dope. I don't care about Richard Sherman.
And Cameron Wake.
See, damn.
Yeah, he stole Cameron Wake too, because that was the other second lineman that I wanted.
I don't know. Let me see your phone. Let me see who you drafted, because I don't know who
Let's
you
see.
drafted.
We'll
Can you
pull it
see
up.
his team?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna look up your team.
You guys are playing against each other first, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Me. What?
We got Bread versus Mantequilla.
Who's
AKA Derek the Jedi versus Silent J. All right, so let's see.
I just gotta get a running back.
Silent J is
You
missing.
got
a
Matty
running
Ice
back.
as your quarterback,
That's
but he does have
projected
Lacey.
34 points. So he's projected almost as much as Andrew Luck.
Lacey is projected 34 points as
I
well.
know. I'm upset that you have Eddie
That is
Lacy.
seriously.
Dude, your tight ends are projected for 3 points. Do you have a backup?
Dude, he has 6 players right now that are over 25 points.
Yeah.
Or over 20 at least.
Oh my god, bro.
Dang.
Good job.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Score.
shit.
And then you got Cam Newton on your bench. You can play Cam Newton right there in your quarterback, receiver, or whatever.
Oh.
And you'll definitely win. Holy shit.
No,
And
because...
win.
Well, yeah, because Cam Newton's playing against Jacksonville. I'd definitely play against
Hell yeah.
Cam Newton.
I'm sorry.
So hang on.
So-
Remember what I'm saying real quick.
Good for you and your auto draft.
Because I can't do it for you because that's colluding.
I should just let that bitch out.
No colluding.
No colluding. But you should put Cam Newton in your
You
option.
shouldn't even finish your sentence because you're not supposed to.
I'm not colluding. I'm
Blah.
talking on a show.
Blah.
Okay.
It's just
No
a show
colluding.
about football.
It's a show about football.
No colluding.
No one's colluding.
Damn it.
Luke Kuechly the first week against Jacksonville, too. That's going to be a pretty penny.
That's gonna be a good matchup. All right, so it's me and Jay up in the first one, and Silent J, I just got that, and Derek the Jedi in the first round, and then Yoshi is playing. Yoshi is playing Ralphie, who is not here right now. Yeah.
Oh, he was. He doesn't speak English.
He doesn't speak English very well, so he wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
talk very much. See, now I put the points to receive on kickoffs, but Devin Hester is only projected 2 points. But if he's receiving kickoffs, you get 1 point for every 2 yards, I think I put it,
What?
for kickoff returns and punt returns.
That's pretty decent.
Who's projected to
I
win?
worked with what I could get.
You are. By 4 points. That's going to be the game of the week. That's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, it is.
I'm definitely going to be watching those.
Why would they draft him a suspended player? It's someone on the injury reserve. And a Newt.
LeGarrette Blunt.
What's NWT?
Newt? It means he's slow and stuck to the ground.
No, not with T.
Not with T.
Same thing.
Gaines is on IR. Like, this team is injury riddled from draft
But if you look at it, still injury riddled, but only 4 points behind.
because he has Breeze and Jamal Charles and Marshawn Lynch and Calvin Johnson and Alshon Jeffries. I had Gakowski last year as a kicker, and he puts up about 20 points a game.
That's going to be a good game.
What's the FL by?
Fuck my life.
Nah, it's a fantasy live video.
No one wants to be in Florida. All right, so you can follow along this whole season. We're going to have everything we're doing in the Fantasy League on the website. And
Now we're on Facebook.
now we are on Facebook. Yeah, we made the Facebook page, so check us out on
go
Facebook.
to Facebook, search the Smoking Table. We are on Facebook. Like us, share us, have many friends with us,
Many friends. Tell your friends about us, and we'll tell our friends about you.
and
they
play
can
the
be
smoking
creepy.
game. What better way to introduce somebody to the show?
Smoking
What?
game. So now what are we gonna do?
I don't know.
What were we gonna do
For
for?
a Jedi.
Are we gonna jump straight into the casting call?
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else have anything to throw in about the fantasy league?
Bread.
Bread. Okay. That's like the best team name on there, but this is bread.
All right, so moving on to the casting call, Dre put his blood, sweat, and tears into creating the weird fantasy that we had last week about collaborations. So, although he's losing his voice, this is his idea, and I'm going to let him introduce it.
Okay, hang on 1 second. You start with the movie in a field with John Mayer in a shack strumming his guitar. Taylor Swift comes walking out of the woods in a long, flowing white dress. They begin singing the ultimate makeup song as Taylor Swift enters the shack. They embrace each other while continuing to play and sing the song. Slowly, they float down below the camera while the song slowly fades away. Flash forward 10 years later, the ultimate stadium song of Fall Out Boy and Will.i.am begins to play. We look at a dust-covered road. As the music blares, you see Elijah Woods driving a 1967 Mustang, armored out and covered with spikes. He's being chased by a gang of crazy people driving pickups, monster trucks, and a souped-up SS Chevelle on 150-inch rims driven by Kevin Spacey. They chase and blah, 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 blah. Huge storm, people crash. Elijah Wood shoots bitches and kicks ass. It sounds like Mad Max, and that's because it pretty much is Mad Max, but with a twist. Elijah Wood then builds a romantic relationship thing with Keira Knightley because they're like the same person but different sexes. The only problem is she's got a robot leg, though, so that makes shit really, really weird for them. He explains that he has to get the original recording of the apocalyptic song, which created the Antichrist and caused the world to go in an apocalyptic wasteland. This is a plot, something that Mad Max didn't have. So that's what makes the twist. We're different than Mad Max. We have a plot. Finally, you see the final battle scene as Elijah Wood is climbing up the volcano, only to run into Kevin Spacey, who's playing the Antichrist. If you didn't already know that, I know it's confusing, but that's what's happening. Then they have an epic sword fight with lots of close-ups, grunting, and volcano shit happening in the background. All this is happening during the angriest, most pent-up aggression song ever made by Kanye West and Corey Taylor, who hate each other so bad that it would be like the fight between Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan, like grown-up Anakin Skywalker in the lava, kind of like this, mixed with the emotion that you felt when you watched that scene in Pursuit of Happiness where they're crying in the bathroom. That shit's real. That's feelings right there. You're going to feel that scene. It's going to feel you. You're going to feel it.
Podcast.
I feel everything.
I've cried in that part.
I cried.
I'm gonna cry right now.
Oh my god, don't cry right now. You're just crying imagining it, right? Finally, Kevin Spacey gets the upper hand and stabs Elijah Wood and stares him in the eyes as he falls to the ground. Elijah's crying, his eyes are glossy, and Kevin Spacey's like, aha, bitch. With one last of life, Elijah Wood tosses the hard drive with the original song on it into the volcano. Kevin Spacey goes to jump after it and grab it, but then Keira Knightley comes out of fucking nowhere with a robotic leg and tackles Kevin Spacey, which causes her and him to fall into the volcano. All of a sudden, huge explosions, and then it fades into white, and the music ends. Fuck it, end the whole movie, just start the credits, you're good to go, movie's over, and I'm done talking.
Wasn't that Lord of the Rings?
Fuck you, it kinda was.
Yeah.
Mad Max, Lord of the Rings, and
Pursuit of Happiness.
what was the first one?
Pursuit of Happiness?
Little House on the Prairie. Yeah, because that's what I imagined. The opening for Little House on the Prairie, running through the field. Yeah, so Little House on the Prairie met Mad Max, met Lord of the Rings, and Elijah Wood was in it all. There you go. That's our casting call for this week.
Tell me where else can you get some shit like that?
Amazing. My voice hurts so bad.
And at this point, there's really nothing else I could say. So from all of us here at the smoking table, have a good whatever you're doing right now.
Have a good football tomorrow. Bye, everybody.